Chosen one, anchor your spirit to what I am about to reveal today. That urge to scroll past this message must be ignored completely, because what I uncovered while preparing this made me sit in absolute silence. Heaven is currently orchestrating a massive financial shift for you, but there is a strict requirement attached to this blessing. You must remain completely quiet. I know the last few days have felt incredibly strange for you. You are waking up at 3 in the morning with a heavy weight on your chest. You try to explain it to people, but they just look at you with blank stares. The atmosphere in your own home feels unusually tense right now. Conversations literally stop the moment you walk into the room. It feels very isolating. You are not imagining this sudden shift in how people treat you. You are not being too sensitive about the cold energy coming from your friends. They are acting mad and jealous, and you have not even received the full physical blessing yet. Their spirits can sense the mantle of abundance that is settling over you. They are reacting to a frequency they cannot comprehend. The enemy has been working overtime against your life for one specific reason. He knows exactly what happens the moment you receive these words and understand your assignment. He wants you to feel so isolated that you desperately seek validation from the wrong people. He wants you to speak about your upcoming wealth prematurely. If you boast before it is sealed, you risk losing it. But you did not find this message by accident today. The algorithm did not bring you here to waste your time. The Holy Spirit guided you to this exact timestamp. This is a divine appointment scheduled before the foundations of the earth. God brought you here to protect the financial harvest He is about to place in your hands. Your obedience in this season is absolutely crucial. In the next few minutes, I am going to reveal something deeply hidden. I will explain the real reason behind your past financial losses and why heaven allowed them. Then I will expose the exact internal block that is making you self-sabotage your own blessings. And at the very end, I will give you a specific declaration that seals your new wealth permanently. Do not click away. You must stay with me until the very last word of this message. If you leave before the verdict is delivered, you walk away from the protection your future requires. The people who betrayed you in the past were meant to teach you the high cost of sharing too much. You cannot afford to repeat that cycle now. Your future self is waiting on the other side of this profound revelation. You have always been the one giving so much and receiving so little in return. You are the person everyone comes to with their heavy problems and deep crises. But when you need a listening ear, the room suddenly goes completely empty. It hurts to feel like a stranger in your own life. You carry a deep intuition, but lately it feels like a heavy burden instead of a brilliant gift. God is shifting the scales of justice in your favor right now. The wealth transfer that is coming is not just about money for your physical comfort. It is a weapon placed in your hands for the kingdom. But weapons must be kept hidden until the exact moment of battle. If you show your hand too early, you give the enemy a map to your destruction. Silence is your strongest shield. Think about the people who recently walked out of your life. You cried over their sudden departure and wondered what you did wrong. You did absolutely nothing wrong. God cleared the room so you would not share your sacred blueprint with people who harbor hidden envy. Their departure was not a rejection. It was a divine redirection to protect the massive harvest coming your way. Before we go any further into the spiritual reality, I want to hold something in front of you. It is something discovered not inside a church, but inside a prestigious research laboratory. This profound discovery won the highest scientific recognition available in the world. And yet, most chosen ones have never been told about it, because it explains something I know you have deeply felt. You have felt the painful gap between the person you know yourself to be and the reality you live in. You know you carry immense potential, but that higher version of you only appears in brief flashes. I will show you exactly what the scientists found, but not yet. First, I need you to fully understand what was taken from you without your consent. You must see the theft very clearly. So, I want you to hold this specific question in your mind as we proceed. What if the gap between your struggle and your success is not a character flaw? What if it has a specific scientific name? I will tell you exactly what this is called later in this message. But right now, you need to prepare your heart to receive the deeper truth about your current financial isolation. Let us completely change how you view your current reality. You have been looking at your isolation and calling it a harsh punishment because you think you have done something terrible to deserve this deep loneliness. But I need to reframe your entire spiritual perspective right now. Your isolation was never a punishment from heaven. It is absolute preparation for what is coming. God did not remove the crowd from your life to abandon you. He removed them so he could finally speak to you without their noisy interference. You are stepping into a season of massive financial overflow, and wealth requires a very specific kind of spiritual container, which means you cannot share your blueprint with people who carry a poverty mindset. Your silence right now is not a sign of weakness or defeat. It is the strongest shield you could possibly wear. When God is building something monumental in your life, He covers it in darkness so the enemy cannot easily spot it. A seed must remain completely buried in the dark soil before it can sprout into something powerful. You want to tell everyone about the small victories happening behind closed doors. You crave that validation because you have been misunderstood for your entire life. But you must resist that urge with everything inside of you. Jealousy is a very real frequency that disrupts your blessings. And when jealous people look at your pending success, their negative energy creates friction. The people pulling away from you are not rejecting you at all. They are simply sensing a frequency they cannot yet understand or control. They are subconsciously grieving the old version of you that they are about to lose. Because the person you are becoming is no longer available for their heavy trauma dumping, you are being elevated above their familiar chaos. This is exactly why your financial breakthrough has felt so delayed recently. You have been asking God to bless you in front of people who secretly resent you. Heaven will not drop a massive financial blessing into a room full of hidden thieves. The isolation is the very proof of your high selection, because you are being hidden so you can be properly armed. Stop apologizing for the boundaries you are suddenly building around your life. Do not feel guilty because you no longer want to share your big dreams. Your intuition is telling you to stay quiet for a very good reason. The enemy uses the mouths of your closest friends to plant seeds of deep doubt. So if they do not know what you are building, they cannot curse it. Here is what the world system never wanted you to figure out. The reason the universe responds rapidly to certain people and ignores others is not just blind faith. It is not about sheer discipline or working yourself to the bone every single day. It is actually a specific frequency running inside your brain, and scientists have a very clear name for this hidden state. They call it gamma. Gamma is the exact frequency your brain was running when you were a young child. Think back to when brilliant ideas came to you effortlessly and continuously. Learning new things felt like an absolute joyful game instead of a terrible chore. Back then, you somehow just knew things before they physically happened. The world felt like it was completely on your side, and your intuition guided you perfectly. Then adulthood arrived, and the modern world went to work on your bright mind. The constant stress of survival mode began to crush your natural gifts. The glowing screens and the endless financial worries overloaded your entire nervous system. The rigid school system trained you to conform instead of encouraging you to create. And every single year, this sacred frequency was suppressed further. It was pushed deeper and deeper below the noisy surface of your busy mind, until the version of you with lightning, intuition, and profound clarity went completely silent. The financial genius you were meant to carry was buried under heavy layers of exhaustion. When gamma fades away, the deep sense that the universe is working with you also fades, leaving you feeling entirely alone and blocked. Most people will live their entire lives without ever knowing this happened to them. They will keep pushing and striving while running on the wrong neurological frequency. They will wonder why their bank accounts never seem to grow despite their hard work. But you are not most people. You are a chosen one who is finally waking up to the profound truth today. The gap between you and the people who seem effortlessly blessed is not a flaw. It is one single brainwave that the modern world suppressed before you could claim your inheritance. But this powerful frequency is not gone forever. It is simply lying dormant inside of you, waiting for the right key, because your financial intuition is begging to be fully restored today. Remember the question I asked you to hold near the beginning of this message. I asked, what if the gap has a name and a scientific explanation? I promise to tell you exactly how you can bridge that gap and restore your receiver. That answer is closer than you think, and I will reveal it very shortly. But first, we must look at how this exact pattern has always existed throughout history. History is filled with chosen ones who had to learn the painful lesson of silence. Look at the ancient story of Joseph. God gave him a profound vision of immense power and massive wealth. It was a true prophetic dream meant only for him, but Joseph was young, and he desperately craved validation from his flawed family. He shared his sacred blueprint with his brothers before the right time. His brothers could not handle the heavy weight of his calling. Their jealousy immediately turned into violent rage. Because he spoke too soon, they threw him into a deep pit and sold him into slavery. His premature words almost aborted his entire destiny. He had to spend years in total isolation just to learn how to properly guard his tongue. Silence became his greatest weapon in the dark. And this is the exact reason behind your past financial losses. That is the first revelation I promised you at the beginning of this message. You shared your early victories with people who harbored hidden envy in their hearts. You wanted them to celebrate with you, but your words activated their deep insecurities and caused them to quietly plot against your rising success. Heaven allowed those painful losses to happen so you would finally learn the power of secrecy. Your past failures were never a punishment for lacking faith. They were a severe mercy designed to protect your ultimate harvest. God had to teach you that not everyone can sit at your elevated table. If He had given you the full financial blessing back then, the jealous people around you would have drained it completely. He broke your attachment to their validation to save your future wealth. You have been sitting inside a burning crucible for the last few years. A crucible is a vessel used to melt down precious metals at extreme temperatures. The intense heat burns away all the useless impurities. Your isolation is that exact forge, and the fire is burning away your desperate need to be seen and understood by ordinary people. You are being refined into pure gold. The wealth that is coming to you requires a mind of absolute steel. You cannot manage kingdom finances if you crumble when someone criticizes you. The universe demands that you become unshakable. That is why your current season feels so incredibly heavy and restrictive while you wait for the breakthrough. You are being rebuilt from the inside out to carry a blessing that would crush a normal person. When you finally stop seeking permission to be great, everything shifts. You no longer need them to understand your path or agree with your bold choices. Their opinions become completely irrelevant to your divine assignment. You realize that your silence is actually a position of supreme power. You hold the winning cards, and you refuse to show them until the ultimate victory is fully secured. You were never meant to be a minor character in their small story. You are carrying a specific assignment that only you can fulfill on this earth. The financial overflow is simply the tool God is providing for that massive mission. It is not about buying fancy things to prove your worth to people who doubted you in the past. It is about funding the kingdom and breaking generational curses forever. So you must keep your mouth firmly shut in this critical waiting period. Do not post vague hints on the internet about your upcoming success. Do not call your friends to discuss the new opportunities that are suddenly appearing. Let them think you are struggling. Let them assume you have given up and faded away, because their ignorance is the very cloak that keeps your new blessings perfectly safe. The enemy relies entirely on your careless words to track your progress. He cannot read your mind, but he can hear everything you say out loud. When you boast about your pending breakthrough, you give him the exact coordinates to attack you. But when you remain completely silent, his weapons malfunction because he cannot find the correct target. Your quietness creates an invisible barrier that nothing demonic can penetrate. And once that profound truth clicks into place, you are ready for the next layer. There is something much deeper operating beneath your daily interactions with these people. It is a subtle snare that you probably did not anticipate. It involves the actual frequency of their jealousy and how it physically affects your environment, and I will expose this hidden frequency completely in just a moment. But first, this deep understanding of Joseph must land in your spirit. It must settle like heavy bedrock in your mind today. You cannot afford to be naive about human nature anymore. The people you love might not be the people who can handle your sudden elevation. Take a deep breath and let the reality of your necessary isolation bring you profound peace instead of lingering pain. You are standing on the edge of a massive paradigm shift. The old version of you would have ruined this moment by talking too much, but the new you knows exactly how to move in silence like a phantom. You are fully ready to handle the heavy weight of true abundance. But there is still a hidden block inside you that we must carefully dismantle next. Here is that deeper root I promised to expose. The thing quietly blocking your path is the actual frequency of jealousy surrounding your life. Jealousy is not just a passing human emotion, it is a very real and tangible, energetic frequency. When someone envies your calling, their spirit projects a heavy resistance toward your open doors. You have probably noticed how certain friends act when you share good news. Their smile never reaches their eyes. The atmosphere in the room suddenly drops. It feels incredibly heavy and awkward. That is their internal frequency clashing violently with your rising elevation. And because they cannot rise to meet you, they subconsciously try to anchor you to their lower level. You see, you were built to operate on a completely different bandwidth. But the people around you are terrified of the profound changes happening inside you. If you succeed and step into massive wealth, it exposes their own lack of effort. So they project doubt and fear to keep you safely suppressed in their familiar misery. This is why heaven requires your absolute silence right now. You cannot mix the high frequency of kingdom wealth with the low frequency of human envy. If you speak your dreams into a room full of jealousy, the heavy resistance will smother the seed. You must protect the sacred frequency of your mind at all costs in this critical season. The world system actually benefits when you stay stuck in that low vibration. The people who profit from your exhaustion do not want you to know the profound truth. They want your financial genius to remain buried under endless stress and trauma. They want you to keep seeking permission from a society that is designed to drain you completely. But before we go any further into your internal blocks, I have to tell you something important. Neuroscientists working quietly away from the loud headlines have discovered how to bring your dormant brainwave back. They found a way to restore your receiver without years of meditation that most people cannot sustain in modern daily life. They did not build expensive biofeedback machines. You do not need a clinical setting. They discovered something far simpler and far more aligned with how you were designed to work. A team of brilliant neuroscientists engineered a specific sound frequency to guide your brainwave patterns back to the absolute genius state you were born with. Princeton University studied this exact phenomenon in very deep detail. The Einstein Center in Berlin confirmed that this legendary flow state is driven entirely by this restored brainwave. Columbia University even found that when this brainwave is reactivated, it radiates outward and positively influences the people closest to you right now. It only takes 7 minutes a day. That is all it requires. And the restoration process begins working the very first time you close your eyes and listen. I will tell you exactly what this is called and how to access it before this message ends. The scientific answer you have been waiting for is finally within your daily reach. But first, there is something critical you need to understand about why your breakthrough has been delayed. The heavy jealousy of other people is only one side of the spiritual battlefield. There is another barrier standing between you and your massive financial harvest. And this next revelation is the part no one ever wants to hear out loud. The thing blocking your breakthrough is not just the dark enemy. It is a hidden block located deep inside your own complex heart. We must look honestly at a subtle snare that you likely did not anticipate today. Because if you do not recognize this internal trap, you will continue to self-sabotage every good blessing heaven sends. You have blamed the spiritual warfare on jealous people. You have pointed your finger at the toxic friends who walked away in silence. But the true obstacle is something you have been doing to yourself for many years. It is a terrible agreement you made with smallness a very long time ago when you were still hurting and vulnerable. Coming up next, I am going to expose that exact lie. I will show you the uncomfortable truth about why you secretly fear your own immense power. But before I reveal that hidden block, you must let the reality of this energetic frequency settle deeply in your spirit. Prepare your heart for a very honest diagnosis about your financial habits. You are not a helpless victim of your circumstances anymore. The knowledge you are receiving right now is pulling you out of the heavy matrix of human envy. You are finally learning how to navigate the spiritual realm like a true master of your fate. But mastery requires absolute honesty about your own hidden flaws and deep emotional insecurities. This difficult journey is not for the weak or the easily offended listener. It is for the chosen one who is ready to carry the heavy mantle of true abundance. The financial shift requires a mind that is totally free from the desperate need for external validation. You must be willing to let go of everything that keeps you playing so small. But here is the part no one wants to hear today, and here is where it gets truly confrontational. We must look honestly at a subtle snare. The thing that has been quietly blocking your breakthrough is not what your mind immediately conjured, because the real trap is actually hiding inside your own heart. It is not the dark enemy or the jealous friends. I say this with nothing but absolute love for you. This is not an angry accusation to make you feel guilty. It is the spiritual diagnosis that finally sets you free. You have been praying for massive wealth for years, but the moment heaven gives you a tiny piece of that blessing, you immediately rush to show it off. You post vague hints on the internet for attention. You call people who do not even like you. Why do you do this? Because a quiet part of you is desperately starving for external validation, and you want the people who rejected you to finally see your rising success. You want their loud applause to validate your painful journey. You have mistaken this trauma response for genuine celebration. You think you are just sharing your joyful testimony with the world, but you are actually leaking your sacred blessings through your careless words. This is the exact internal block I promised to expose earlier. Your deep need for approval is the very thing making you self-sabotage right now. This trauma-bonded need for recognition is destroying your harvest. When you boast about your pending breakthrough to people who harbor secret envy, you release the spiritual pressure prematurely and destroy the momentum. Think about a steam engine powering a massive heavy train. The hot steam must be contained under extreme pressure to move those heavy wheels forward. Your silence is the heavy iron container that holds the pressure. Your words are the open valve, letting the steam escape into thin air. If you open the pressure valve too early because you want someone to clap for you, the massive engine loses all of its forward power. You bleed out the precious energy needed to build your new empire. The universe cannot trust you with massive wealth yet. Not if you cannot handle a small financial blessing in complete and absolute silence. You have been deeply afraid of your own immense power. You dim your bright light to keep other people comfortable. You think that hiding your success makes you humble. But true humility is knowing exactly who you are. True humility does not need anyone else to confirm it. False humility is an ugly trap designed to keep you small. You were never meant to shrink down to fit into their tiny boxes. The massive wealth coming to you is meant to break heavy generational curses forever, and it is meant to fund kingdom projects that will change countless lives completely. You cannot do that if you are constantly worried about what ordinary people think. This is why God has kept you in this silent crucible. He had to burn away your desperate attachment to human approval. You are currently standing right between two very different identities, and the transition requires you to completely abandon your old ways of seeking attention. The old version of you desperately needed a loud crowd to feel important. The new version only needs the quiet results to speak for themselves. The old identity is finally dissolving in the hot fire. The new identity is being birthed by heaven right this very moment. You are not the misunderstood outcast who has to constantly prove your worth anymore. You are a chosen breakthrough prophet carrying a massive financial mantle, and true prophets do not beg for validation from the people they are called to deliver. It is time to release every single agreement you made with smallness. You must forgive yourself for leaking your blessings in the past. You simply did not know any better back then. But now your eyes are completely wide open to the truth. The enemy can no longer use your own mouth to abort the beautiful things heaven is planting in your fertile soil, because you finally see the trap clearly. Your spiritual receiver is being cleaned and recalibrated right now. The heavy fog of confusion and fear is finally lifting from your tired mind. You are stepping into a profound level of clarity that will terrify your enemies. They thought they had you figured out and safely trapped in their familiar games, but you are about to move entirely in the shadows like a phantom. And now comes the pivotal moment where everything officially shifts for you. Your heart is fully prepared for this. I promised you a specific tool at the beginning of this message, and I told you there is a way to permanently seal this revelation in your spirit. You are finally ready for the ultimate climax of this profound journey. You are going to cut the invisible cords tying you to their toxic opinions, and you are going to lock the heavy vault of your financial future forever. Tonight, you step out of the shadows and into your true spiritual authority. You are not the same person who started watching this video. The old version of you could not have survived this intense season of painful isolation, but you did not just survive the heavy fire. It developed you completely from the inside out. It forged you into a vessel strong enough to carry massive kingdom wealth. You finally understand why the dark enemy tried so hard to break your spirit. He knew that once you learned the profound power of absolute silence, his daily attacks would become entirely useless. You are no longer leaking your precious energy to people who secretly want you to fail. Your spiritual container is finally sealed tight. The massive engine of your destiny is fully pressurized and ready to move. This is the exact moment everything shifts for you permanently. The universe has been waiting for you to stop asking for permission to be truly great. Your breakthrough does not need anyone else to validate it today. It activates the very second you take your rightful place and close your mouth securely. The long season of painful preparation is officially complete, and here it is. This is the final revelation I promised you at the very beginning of this profound message. This is the sacred declaration that seals everything heaven has spoken over your life today. This is exactly where you cut the invisible cords tying you to their toxic opinions forever. You are about to lock the heavy vault of your financial future so no one can ever steal from it again. I want you to stop, whatever you are doing, right this second. Close your eyes and tune out every single distraction in your quiet room. Place your hand firmly on your chest and feel the steady rhythm of your own heart. That heartbeat is the loud sound of your divine purpose waiting to be fully unleashed. Take a deep breath and speak these powerful words with me out loud. I release the desperate need to be needed by everyone around me. I release every single agreement I made with smallness and deep fear. I completely forgive myself for sharing my sacred blueprint with people who could not handle my bright light. I cut every energetic cord of heavy jealousy that has tried to anchor me to my past. I am completely free from the heavy burden of seeking human approval. I step into my new assignment, knowing my isolation was preparation and never punishment. I fully embrace the absolute power of silence today. I will hold my financial blessings in secret until heaven says it is time to reveal them. My wealth is protected by a divine shield that no enemy can ever penetrate. I am chosen, and I am fully prepared for the massive overflow coming my way. Let those heavy words sink deep into your tired bones right now. Feel the heavy chains of obligation completely falling off your tired shoulders. The toxic people who walked away from you no longer have any power over your bright future. You do not owe them an explanation for the strong boundaries you have finally built. Your only obligation is to the massive calling placed on your life. Your breakthrough is not coming someday, in the distant future. It is already here, and it is already moving forcefully in the spiritual realm right now. The financial doors that were tightly sealed are quietly loosening on their hinges, right this very second. Opportunities that felt impossibly far away are currently shifting into your direct path. You do not have to chase them anymore. You have finally stopped fighting against the grain of your own high frequency. You are learning to trust the deep intuition that heaven gave you when you were first born. That quiet knowing inside your chest is not terrible anxiety. It is the brilliant radar of a true frequency master. And because you have sealed your mouth, the universe is ready to open the massive floodgates. There is a profound sense of peace settling over your tired mind right now. You can finally breathe without feeling the heavy weight of the world crushing your chest today. The desperate need to prove your worth to ordinary people has evaporated completely. You know exactly who you are and whose you are. You are standing confidently in the center of your divine inheritance. But knowing you carry this incredible frequency is only half of the journey. The other half is learning how to keep it from being dulled by the noisy world around you. Because the daily stress of modern life will always try to push your brainwave back down into survival mode. You need a way to protect this newly activated state long after this message ends. For the chosen ones who are truly ready to go deeper today, for those who want to live in this powerful state daily instead of just feeling it once, I have something incredibly important to share with you next. It is the exact scientific tool that guarantees your receiver stays wide open permanently, and it will change everything about how you operate. You have felt this powerful frequency your entire life, and it is the very thing the world kept telling you was completely too much to handle. But it was never too much. It was simply undiscovered. You can keep letting your bright mind stay dulled by heavy stress, or you can finally give it the one thing that lets it rise permanently. Your massive breakthrough is already here waiting for you. This is simply a matter of how you choose to hold it. You know deep down that you carry a higher potential, but you watch other people succeed effortlessly while you struggle. But those heavy blocks are not a character flaw. They are just a suppressed frequency waiting to be switched back on right now. Remember the exact question I asked you to hold at the beginning of this message. I asked, what if the gap between your struggle and your success is not a character flaw? I promise to tell you exactly how you can restore your receiver before this video ends. Well, Here is the profound answer you have been patiently waiting for. A specific brainwave called the gamma wave was running in you at genius capacity when you were a young child. Princeton University studied this exact phenomenon in detail. The Einstein Center in Berlin confirmed it completely. Columbia University found that when this brainwave is fully restored, it positively influences the people you love. A brilliant team of neuroscientists, led by Dr. Robert Lake in New York, spent decades working on this. They took the full clinical protocol for gamma reactivation and compressed it into just 7 minutes. But before I tell you what they built, let me tell you about 2 specific people who actually used it. A woman named Rachel from California had tried absolutely everything to fix her blocked life. She tried meditation and manifesting, but nothing broke the heavy fog. After 2 weeks of listening daily, she said something finally cleared. Her marriage shifted beautifully, and she described her life as truly enchanted for the very first time. Then there was a man named Michael from Texas, who started using it to improve his business focus. 2 months later, his wife joked that his IQ had jumped 20 points. The hardest problems he used to lose sleep over started solving themselves while he slept peacefully. He said his brain was finally running on what it was always supposed to run on. That is exactly what Dr. Lake and his dedicated team built for you. They call it the Genius Song. It is a 7-minute audio track using advanced brain entrainment technology. This is the exact same underlying research that Princeton and Berlin validated completely for human performance. It was compressed from 1 full hour of clinical protocol into something you do easily at home. You just put your headphones on and close your tired eyes. That is the entirety of what it requires. You do not chant or meditate. You simply let the healing frequency do what your beautiful brain was designed to safely receive. The Genius Song is strictly for the chosen one, who has done the heavy inner work. It is for the person who understands that what is being blocked is not their faith, but the frequency through which faith is supposed to move freely. If your spirit confirms this is for you, the path is wide open below. Biofeedback sessions to restore this rare state cost hundreds of dollars per hour in a clinical setting. An in-home machine runs into the thousands. But what the Genius Song delivers in 7 minutes is available to you today for a fraction of its true value. The creators kept it accessible on purpose. 4 powerful bonuses come with it right now to support your entire journey. You get an audio designed specifically to activate focus in your children. You get the original prosperity text that the famous secret was built upon. You also receive a beautiful guided visualization and a daily habits guide. Here is the deeper truth about waiting to take action. The massive blessing that has been arranged for you does not arrive as completely new information. It arrives as a clear recognition. The chosen one who restores their receiver today does not receive something new. They finally see what was always waiting there. Waiting is not neutral, because the divine arrangement is already in motion right now. But you must be very careful. Do not look for this on YouTube or Spotify. The tracks circulating under similar names on those platforms have no brain entrainment technology encoded in them. The authentic version is only in the description below. The universe requires absolutely no risk from you today. If you do not feel the profound shift you deserve, every single penny is returned to you immediately. That is an energetic exchange governed by complete and total trust. The secure link is waiting for you in the description and in the first pinned comment below. The tool is not the final destination. The tool simply restores the broken receiver so the beautiful destination can be recognized when it arrives. God does not require you to purchase anything, to be loved or chosen by Him. What was just described is simply one effective way the receiver is safely restored. Whether that specific path is for you or not, the truth of this spiritual message belongs to you entirely. The breakthrough you are seeking is a matter of alignment. Now let us go much deeper into what is waiting for your future. The sealing of your new financial identity is about to take place. Everything you endured in the past was not a waste of time. It was carefully preparing you for this exact moment of profound peace. You are not the misunderstood outcast who must constantly fight for a tiny scrap of respect. You are a chosen vessel. And the heavy burden of trying to make everyone understand your unique path is finally lifted from your tired shoulders today. The intense fire you walked through did not destroy your bright spirit. It burned away every false attachment that was anchoring you to a lower frequency. You are stepping into a beautiful season of absolute stillness. The chaotic noise of human jealousy can no longer reach your elevated position. Your financial breakthrough is completely sealed by your powerful silence. You do not need to constantly look over your shoulder anymore. The enemies who tried to steal your joy have been completely blinded by heaven. They cannot track your movements because you have finally learned how to operate in the sacred shadows. Your quiet confidence is terrifying to the dark forces that once controlled you. You hold the absolute authority now. For the chosen one whose spirit deeply confirmed what was described earlier, the path is still open. The frequency tool I mentioned is waiting in the description and the pinned comment for those who are truly ready. That is the last time it will be mentioned today. What follows right now belongs entirely to your spiritual sealing. The closing of this message is for your profound peace. I want you to release every lingering doubt about your divine calling. Release the heavy guilt you carry for outgrowing the people you once deeply loved. You cannot drag them into your massive harvest if they refuse to elevate their own mindset. Your elevation requires you to leave the heavy baggage completely behind. You are walking into a spacious room of total abundance. Your massive breakthrough is not coming someday in the distant future. It is already here, moving forcefully in your current reality. The physical manifestation of your wealth is simply catching up to the spiritual decree you just made. The universe has already aligned the exact resources you need to build your new empire. You just have to stand completely still and softly receive them. You were never meant to save every single person who crossed your busy path. You were meant to carry one specific assignment that only you can fulfill perfectly. The financial overflow is simply the divine provision for that incredible mission. Do not let anyone make you feel guilty for the beautiful things heaven is about to pour into your open hands. You earned this massive harvest. The deep sense of isolation you felt was simply the quiet cocoon of your massive transformation. You went into the dark, completely exhausted and thoroughly broken. But you are emerging today with wings made of pure iron and solid gold. The heavy wind of adversity is now blowing firmly at your back. It is pushing you directly into the destiny that was written for you. You are exactly where you are supposed to be right now. Every painful delay was a divine setup to protect you from unseen disasters. Every closed door was a heavy shield, keeping you safe from the wrong connections. The heavy season of painful waiting is officially over. The season of massive accumulation and quiet power has finally begun for you today. Walk forward confidently in your powerful silence. Let your beautiful results speak volumes while your lips remain perfectly sealed. You carry a frequency that shifts the entire atmosphere the moment you walk into a crowded room. You are chosen, and you are deeply loved by the Creator of the entire universe. No weapon formed against your finances will ever prosper again. Rest your tired mind tonight, knowing that the heavy battle is already won. You do not have to fight for your rightful place at the elevated table. The seat has your name permanently carved into the strong wood. Heaven is fiercely guarding your back while you calmly step into your massive future. Welcome to the beautiful beginning of your completely abundant new life. Tomorrow morning you will wake up feeling remarkably different. The heavy dread that used to sit on your chest will be completely gone. In its place you will find a quiet and steady assurance that everything is working in your favor. You will look at your life through the clear lens of a true victor. The heavy chains of lack and limitation have been shattered forever. You are no longer a victim of circumstances or jealous intentions. You are the absolute architect of your beautiful reality, moving in perfect alignment with divine will. Keep your powerful secrets locked safely inside your healed heart. Watch as heaven moves massive mountains just to bring your profound visions into physical reality. You are loved beyond human measure and deeply protected. This is the profound ending of your old painful chapter. Turn the page with absolute confidence and never look back at the grey ashes. The bright fire that burned you has now become the very light that safely guides you home. Stay in your quiet power and let the universe unfold its magnificent plan for your wealth. Your sacred journey of true abundance starts right now.